coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, wanting just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't unmute. I was just welcoming everybody. We've got Kathy in here. We've got Jessica Oki. Good morning. AVA is here. Good morning. Greg of Scotland. Good afternoon to you. It just crossed into afternoon. Stacy, good morning. I hope you're feeling well. Stacy has been battling some health issues. She does have a Give, Send, Go or GoFundMe. I can't remember which. It was posted in our group, our Veteran Nation group on Facebook. But Stacy, if you get a chance, repost it in there, and people go search that out and help Stacy. I've donated to it. Linda Jones, good morning. Fire Dad, good morning. Laura, good morning. Shanemesis, good morning. Rick Friend, good morning. Good to see you guys all here. I need a sound for the morning, I've got the heavenly sound, but I need a sound for like a good morning. I could use the coffee pouring sound. I don't know. I can because I have a deaf sound. So you've learned to read lips. Pretty good skill to have. It's a GoFundMe. Okay. Yeah, everyone, if you can, Stacy, it's in our Facebook group. I do know that. Stacy, let us know. Please, put the link in there. I'll make sure you're moderator so that you can put the link. There we go. You're added as a moderator. Put the link in here. Let's, I know you've got increased medical costs. I know I want to help you out with that. Coop, good morning, Coop. Coop woke up early this morning. He's like, "Oh, Skipper, you got me waking up early." He was living that retired life. Um, yeah, today's gonna be just an easy show. I'm not gonna get into anything too crazy. I did want to talk about uh what Matthew says here. Um, about the bankruptcy case and the What the Hell's saga, it has been dismissed, and we should expect them to try to go into court for something else, um, without a doubt. And then Greg says she can refile the case, but would need more money. More likely, John will file for bankruptcy now. Um, I mean, they can try that, but clearly it's a delay tactic. Um, and the thing is, if they respond, if they do it again, they do have the ability to correct their mistakes. That's why a lot of these people who run to the groups and stuff to say, "Oh, they screwed up, they did this." I get it. I understand where it comes from. People want to be that person who recognizes stuff. Uh, if you notice, I rarely ever run to the fake group to post stuff like that. I'll talk about it in the background. Uh, I don't really want them to know what mistakes they're making. Um, cheers from New Brunswick, Canada. Canoe tipper. I'll have to add you. I've got my map, and we do uh, things on the map. So let me write that down so I don't forget. New Brunswick, Canada. Is that in Newfoundland, or because New Brunswick sounds like Newfoundland, Labrador, because it doesn't sound like something in Alberta. It sounds like one of those early settlers places. If they do file again, where would the money come from? Well, all these people have shown an ability to make money. Although, none of them can work, but they all have the ability to make money. hmm But and that shows you they're all taking advantage of our systems. So it shows you how easy it is for our welfare and other social program systems, how easy they are to manipulate and take advantage of. Good morning, Mama Coop. Good to see you. Um, judges are not dumb. At some point, they will stop them from doing all this nonsense. Very true. Very true. And I know they think they're getting away with it, but thank you, Stacy. So everyone, right here is Stacy's GoFundMe. Stacy is battling a medical condition. I think it says it in there. I don't want to speak out of turn. Um, I know what it is, but I don't know what she's keeping private. But she's dealing with medical bills. I have donated already. I will donate again. So if you are so blessed and inclined and want to help out Stacy, there you go. Um, could Jeremy's lawyer send a letter to the judge saying potential of delay of case due to their plan of more bankruptcy? Absolutely, absolutely, they could. Um, being that the case was dismissed, I don't know if they could do it punitively. Probably not. Probably not, because it was just a dismissal. I'd love to find out what caused this to be dismissed. Can't be just be the wrong filing. Um, well, okay, so they probably looked at all of the problems and just said, okay, it's just easier just to say it's the wrong filing. But it wasn't dismissed. To my knowledge, it was not dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can always bring it back. They can always refile. Um, it does. Thank you, Skipper. It was skin cancer, but today makes 5 weeks recovery. Well, that is awesome. I hope the recovery continues. And here I am inviting you out on the cruise. Like, hey, come out on the cruise where there's a lot more sunshine. But yeah, I do know that Stacy's got some medical bills. So, anything that you donate does help. Sit down denied. Yeah, I need to get a sound clip similar to that. I don't like There are clips that I have that people are like, I've been accused of stealing from Megan. Oh, I did not steal any of my clips from Megan. I'll tell you, my sound clips I have stolen from Opie and Anthony, the old Opie and Anthony show. Specifically,
I got a tree on my house.
I got a tree on my house. In fact, I got to turn that one up.
I got a tree on my house.
So that straight comes from the Opie and Anthony show. Same thing with the car crash. The car crash they used for if there was a joke that someone said that didn't land. I do jokes on here, but they're normally my jokes that don't land. I don't like hitting the thing. Like I don't like tipping the hat too much on my jokes. I do like doing a little bit, but not too much, because then it turns up being a hat on a hat, which is a joke term. Like it's too much. Like putting on a silly hat is funny. Putting a silly hat on a silly hat just is kind of like cringe. It was said to her due to her not filing proper paperwork. Absolutely. But here's the problem with that. She had an attorney. Um, so if she were to do it again, and we all know how she is, she's gonna leave things out. She cannot help herself. It's a mental illness. She's gonna do it again. She's gonna purposefully leave stuff out. Um, and at that point with an attorney, it won't be dismissed again. It'll be you are clearly trying to deceive the court at that point. You always kind of get that one, and sometimes you'll get a second one, but eventually you keep pulling the wool over the court's eyes. Eventually the court will get pissed. We're one of the maritime provinces, not part of Newfoundland and Labrador. We have the the long covered bridges in the world, the oldest incorporated city in Canada. That's cool. Okay, that's cool. So would that make you a part of Quebec? Um, she's on the grift again for 7 7 Right, right. There's no the good thing about them is there's no plan. Everything that they do is a reaction. And, going back to the military, I've talked before about the OODA loop: orient, observe, decide, and act. That is the cycle of decision making. They don't do that except in reaction. So the nice thing about Randy and Jeremy is Randy and Jeremy are ahead of their OODA loop. They've gone through the OODA loop. Okay, when they do this, here's what they're going to do next. Like they are leading them on a path to disaster. Um, I think Bruce recognizes it. I I think Leslie is starting to recognize it. None of the other idiots recognize it. Like they do not see. Not sure where your fans don't hit the like button. That's a good point. Yeah, what the hell are you people doing? Hit the like button. How many do we have watching on Rumble? We got 2 on Rumble. Okay. Hit the like button on Rumble. And give us some comments over there. That Jesus. Just messing with you guys. I'm just glad you guys are here. I was talking to my mom this morning, and there has been some situations that they've been dealing with that I have completely pointed. I'm like, that's all mental illness, and I was drawing a lot of parallels with Jeremy and Lynette and all the stuff that they're doing, and I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I deal with them, and someone was sending there's a court case going on, and someone was sending um, anonymous emails, and I told my mom it wasn't you. Please tell me it was not you. And she's like, "Oh, definitely wasn't me." And I was like, "Yeah, don't ever, ever do that, uh, because that will end up in a bad spot." Like, and it wasn't my mom, but I don't want to give too much about this, just in case that people see this. Um, it was someone who kind of said, "Look, you're you're doing these things to me, and you need to stop." Right? Like they had an attorney contact another attorney and be like, "Tell your client to knock it off." Right? But we then started talking about the thing of having clean hands. And I said, this is the problem with the anti-Hales ecosystem. They do all this stuff. Then when someone does something to them, they're like, oh, we're being harassed. No, you have to have clean hands. So, like, stupid Dave claiming that he's being doxxed and all this stuff, he doesn't have clean hands. Like, for the last 2 years, that guy, like, I could show where that guy has been trying to be a part of like my groups. He's tried to influence me about Jeremy. He's trying to influence others. It's like, no, dude, you have straight defamed Jeremy, and you're dodging service. Eh, He can dodge service all he wants. He might get out of this lawsuit, but he's got a lawsuit coming. That's where he's stupid. Just take your service and move forward with this lawsuit. Like, that's if I were him, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'll take my service. Let's settle it. Let's settle it. What do you want from me? Um, LP never gets an actual lawyer that can handle the task at hand. Well, she's also a bad client. Um, uh, so the Fed case is on the move again. Don't know. They're gonna probably refile very quickly. Quebec is province in Canada, as is New Brunswick is a province. I'm sorry. Like Maine, it's New England state. How did I not know New Brunswick was a province? I'm normally pretty good, especially as Americans go, on geography. Um, how did I not know? Huh. I I don't know. Maybe it's just because I haven't dealt with it in so long. Most of the Canadians I come across with are from Calgary or Alberta because I'm out here in the West Coast, and they're all snowbirds. They all come here. They fuck up our traffic. I don't know if it's because they're old or if Canadian drivers are bad. I'm not making the judgment. I'm saying it's probably one of these two, but they suck at driving, and they are old, and they are Canadian. So maybe it's the trifecta. I've never, I grew up near Detroit, and there were Canadians who always would come down to our side of Ohio, and I never knew them to be bad drivers. So maybe it's not a Canadian thing. Maybe it's a British Columbia thing. Lynette poops in a bucket. That is true. So it's funny because yeah, I was talking to my mom about this other case, and I was drawing a lot of parallels, and I said, doing things anonymous is never good. And the person who did it, I've been pointing out, hey, that person has a mental illness. Like it's someone that my mother had to block. And I was like, when stuff was happening, I was like, Mom, just block that person. Just block that person. Be done with them. They're not going to bring you anything good. So my mom blocked them, and they are losing their shit over my mom blocking. And then I was like, see, there you go. That's how mentally ill people respond to a healthy boundary. If you just say, hey, look, for the next 6 months, I'm blocking you, and they lose, like, and this is not someone that my mom has any need to have interaction with, none at all. So it's like, why are you mad about being blocked? Just be blocked. Like, I don't get it. So that is that's what's happening with that, and I've drawn a lot of parallels, and I also said, look, the bad part of that person doing that anonymously, I said, when people do it, and I see this in the fake group all the time, people will do things anonymously, but with their mental illness, they want you to know that it's them. So all you have to do is wait, and they will absolutely tip their hat They do it every time. We've seen it with even people on this side of the Jeremy Hills. There are people with mental illness on this side, myself included. But I at least have a therapist, and I have been in treatment for my mental illness, so I can recognize when I'm doing something and I'm like, yeah, this is my mental illness displaying itself, and I know it, and I can also contain it. But some people just refuse to acknowledge their mental illness, and it's not contained. It's just them doing crazy shit. So, uh, for me, like, I can recognize it, but I don't have the need to do anything anonymous. Like, oh, when people are like, "You've been posting anonymous," I'm like, "No, no, I don't post anonymous. When I post, I want you to know it's me saying this to you, and you're gonna know that it's me saying this to you. Like, there's no need for me to hide. But also, by me not posting anonymously, I'm also not gonna break the law. I'm also not gonna cross the line. It holds me accountable, and I'm aware of that. That's why, like, I've got no problem with anonymity. I think people should. Like, I don't like when social media, hot girlfriend in the background. Yeah. Lacey, w- peddling my merchandise. Go to veteranationfoundation.com and buy some merchandise. Um, but yeah, when people are doing this, like they always show their cards, always. Um, and I've seen even that from Jeremy, and this has been a traumatic thing for Jeremy. I do know Jeremy has talked to a doctor. I can see in Jeremy's actions where he's talked to a doctor, which is a good thing, because everyone will go through a mental health crisis at some point in their life. Acting like you won't is just being stupid. Um, Going and getting help and support is absolutely a good thing. I got an ID finally opening a bank account today. Things are getting better for me one step at a time. I am so glad to hear that, Robert. Um, I'm not gonna Robert, you did all this on your own. Me, everyone else who donated to your Amazon wish list, we helped, but this is all you're doing. You are doing great things for yourself, and your life is only gonna get better. And you know you can always come to us if there's issues. Posting anonymously is dumb. Uh, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, when it comes to defamation and stuff, when you're posting anonymously, that can be used against you for malicious intent. It absolutely can. Lacey has good PR. Yes, she does. Lacey is good PR. I'm seeing a shrink. He's awesome. Absolutely. Be careful if you use the VA. They will twist your words and stick you in a box. Yeah, I recommend community care. And it's every veteran's right to get community care. But all these people who do stuff, you gotta have first you gotta have clean hands, and they don't. Like, if you're posting anonymously, if you're doxing people, you can't turn around and say, "Well, they doxed me. They were making anonymous posts." You can't. Like, it's just ridiculous. Um, but they don't realize that because they have a mental block. They're too close to it. Um, I I don't like yes men. I like people around me who tell me I'm wrong. Because then it makes me question. And sometimes they point things out to me that I would never have noticed because I recognize I'm very close to stuff. That's the whole keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That's your enemies if they're like pointing out all the bad shit about you, you can fix it. The VA should use Lacey's at the service counter. Yeah, she'd be better at the VA service counter, a lot more helpful. It's starting to get late. I am gonna get going here in a little bit. But yeah, it's funny. And you see these parallels with people who are mentally ill because it manifests itself the same way over and over. I'm now to the point like, uh, as we know, there are people out there saying, I can't diagnose people. I've never diagnosed someone. Saying someone has a mental illness is not a diagnosis. It's just me saying, hey, I can recognize that things are not right. I can't tell you what it is, but I can tell you things are off. It, you can use your spidey sense. And now, like, I can tell you, like, how many times I've, like, just been walking through the hall and I'll just say something to a Marine because they just have that look. And I know people call it the 1,000-yard stare, but it's that's a part of it, but there's also a look where you can tell if someone's going through something. Um, and, those that get help do get better. They do get better. Mental health issues cause stolen valor too. Absolutely. Absolutely. You want to know who does it the most? Veterans. Veterans lie about their service the most. I am thankful I was already in therapy before I started this show because, you know, that's when I started really publicly talking about my service. And, you know, very quickly stolen valor groups started coming after me. And it was all bullshit. Like I got their website taken down. Valkyries of Honor was their website. I got it taken down because they posted stuff about me that was 100% false. Do you know how easy that was to get it taken down? All I had to do was send some pictures and some stuff to their hosting stuff and say, "Hey, you are hosting defamation of me. Here's the pages." And they were like, "Yep, absolutely. That's a violation of terms. They're gone." Boom, done. But and the thing is, they knew what they were putting was false. They knew it was false. Um, that's why a lot of people come after me. People like Robbie. That's why Robbie's come after me because when you have like, I've never gone after Ray Bone Crusher's service. He's a veteran. Uh, that is genuine. So why attack the truth? Uh, no need to. No need to. Now, if I found stuff out like, oh, he avoided, like serving in Vietnam or something, that becomes fair. I don't have any proof of that, so that's why I've never made those type of things. They've attacked me and my service, and it's been easy just to debunk them. Like on Twitter, I almost daily I was getting people telling me I was a fake veteran, and I would just respond with pictures of me in Afghanistan and then links to this show and being like, "Oh yeah, I've been really dedicated to the lie since 2010, huh?" Uh, I came in the military in January of '02. I've got pictures. I've got stuff that show that. Like you should be wary of the veterans who won't show that. uh, any veteran who makes a claim, anyone who's not willing to back it up is full of shit. It's full of shit. And like I said, military veterans, we're probably the biggest group of stolen valor. You'll get those who lie about their service. Why? I don't get it. I'm very proud of my service. I find it funny when people are like, "You're a pogue." The pogue means personnel other than grunt. I was not a grunt. Why would I be mad about being a pogue? That's what I was. I did my job. I did it well. I'm happy about my service. I had a great time. I prided myself that I helped because I was in division and I supported division. And that's where the grunts are. I am very proud that I made sure to give them the top-notch service I could because I recognized they had a hard job and I was not going to make it harder. Have you seen the movie Kandahar on Netflix? No. To be honest, I don't watch a lot of war movies. Not because it gives me people are like, oh, it must give you flashbacks and stuff. Not really. It's just when things are done wrong in those movies, it bothers me. Like I'll be like, yeah, that would never happen, or yeah, that's full of shit, and it takes me out of the movie. So yeah, there's things that people they send me all this stuff and they're like, "Oh, you should watch this." I really don't watch it. Like when I'll watch it is with like my son and if he's into it. But yeah, excuse me. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't really get into a lot of that. I laugh about the guys who do. Like the veterans who have to get a plate carrier and wear that shit around. I'm like, "Okay." Like I like guns. I'm not like a gun guy. I don't have a million guns here. I have guns here, um, but I don't talk about them. I don't show them. When people when people do people call me a pogue are funny. I tell them if it wasn't for people like me, they wouldn't have air support. Absolutely, right, right. And they're the ones who beg for that shit. Like, hey, can we get air support? Even when it's like, are you engaged? uh, but yeah, people who like, and I've always warned people, especially women, when they come to me about guns. I go, first off, don't listen to any gun people. You'll get guys out there who are like, you need yourself a Glock, and other people are like, you don't need a Glock. Glock's a piece of shit. It doesn't matter. Here's what you do: try out a bunch of guns. Whatever one you're comfortable with, that's your gun. Whatever you're most comfortable with. Because if you're comfortable with it, you will operate it safely, which is the most important thing. Every woman, in my opinion, should be a gun owner because a gun is an equalizer. Guns stop rape. There you go. But women should know this: kids who find their parents' guns, a lot of times, most times that I've seen, they find it in their mother's purse. And you shouldn't keep it in your purse because the other reason is if you are attacked, most times guys are not trying to rape you, they're trying to rob you. They're going to go after your purse. So don't carry the gun in your purse. It's a lazy way of carrying, and there's bad things that can happen from it. Be an active gun owner, train with your weapon, be comfortable with your weapon. Uh, a snub nose 357, if you're a woman that can handle that, that's a weapon that will you'll turn some heads. I if you get attacked and you got a 357 on you, I I pray for whoever's attacking you. Uh, hold them in your hand if it feels good in their hand, and that's the one for absolutely Yankee Bell. Absolutely. Um, women can also point and pursue. Is that I'm not Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by that one. It's me. Sorry, I'm just not. It's not clicking for me. Home defense. A lot of people suggest shotgun. If a shotgun is for you, I will say this: racking that round, that everybody knows that sound. It's what like okay. So I've always wanted a telescopic baton because when you see cops pull out that baton, that click 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 click, that clacking sound, you know an ass whooping's gonna follow. And it's sound can really affect people. It ties to emotions. 357 Dirty Harry gun. But they have the snub nose or a snub nose 45. Um, very small gun. It's got a lot of weight to it for it being a small gun. It's got a big round for it to be, and it packs a big punch. It does. Uh, right? And I'm not a gun guy. TC weirdos. Yeah, I'm not a gun guy. I support guns. I love the Second Amendment. I think everyone in the U.S., especially women, should own a gun. Um, yeah, I thought his was a 44 Magnum. Uh, but if you're comfortable with a 22, carry a 22. There's a Saturday night special. It was named that for my hometown. They used to drive from Toledo, Ohio, I'm sorry, they used to drive from Detroit into Toledo, Ohio, by a little 22 because they could buy it legally and get it back into Detroit in no time, like 2 hours is what it took. So that they do it on a Saturday night. That's why they call it a Saturday night special. If the firearm is in the purse, they can point and nobody knows. Wife has a pistol pocket in her purse. I don't. I don't think. I don't think it's safe putting a, a gun in a purse at any time. I really don't. One that it's something that criminals are gonna latch onto, and you trust me. You don't want your weapon, your lifeblood getting taken away from you. The other thing is kids. Kids go in their mother's purses, and you know, women will put their purse down, not thinking, "Oh, this is my weapon." Like, and they'll put the purse down, and now a kid has a gun. Yeah, California, we can carry katanas. That's what people don't realize. You can carry a knife of any size openly carry here in California. And I do have my K-bar, and there have been times where it's been strapped to my hip. I've never desired to have or use a gun. True, but the moment you need it, it's good to have. But this has been a good discussion, but I am looking at the time. I have to get going. I'm late already. Thank you guys. I am going to get going. Hope you have a great day. Tune in to Georgie and Coop later on today. TC, put in the comments if you or AVA, if you guys have anything, so people can go check you guys out. Make sure you go subscribe to Minnesota Black Robe Regiment. And if you are so blessed, please give to Stacy's GoFundMe for her medical bills. Thank you guys, and as always, thank you for being worth serving.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.